Girl, this is messy. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel, honey. Come on in, like up the video and stuff. All right, as you guys come on in. I know this is impromptu, so you guys are liking up the video definitely helps people know that we are indeed live, okay? Because I already know YouTube and push out the notifications and stuff, all right? Now, I had a few of y'all hit me up in my DMs, okay? I had a few of y'all at me on Twitter, girl. Somebody just left a comment on one of my videos, and y'all have been talking about this Gail Lewis lady, right? Somebody hit me up, I think last week. What is today? Thursday? I don't know if it was over the weekend or last. It was at some point, girl. But you know, we got lost in the melee of Miss Nicki Minaj going the hell off for 78 until 82 damn hours. And probably ongoing at this moment as well. But anywho, I wanted to come real quick so we can talk about Miss Gail. And honestly, I had started listening to some of what Gail was talking about, but I did not finish. Okay, so we're gonna listen to it together. It looks like it's gotten pretty messy. I'm looking over here on her TikTok channel, girl. Let me go ahead and share this real quick. Cause girl, the people getting into some things, all right? I'm seeing 3 million views, 2 million, 1 million. Girl, Miss Gail, what the hell really going on? Okay, so it appears that she done called her husband and his mistress out in the airport. All right. Now I did hear some of it when she talked about how she found out. She had, I guess, like an inkling, and she found some things out when she looked at them AMX credit card statements. Hello? And then she had learned some things from one of the workers at the airport or whatnot. Then Miss Candy Burris, after this lady done went viral, Candy like, oh, that's my friend. Girl, that's Candy friend. It looked like it's Claudia Jordan's friend, honey, because, well, I retract. Not Claudia Jordan's friend, not Miss Gail, but it looks like the mistress is a friend of Claudia Jordan's. Girl, this is some messy shit. Okay, then I saw one of the TikTokers, a regular person on TikTok, decided they was gonna inbox the mistress, girl, and the mistress over there giving some tea too. And it seemed like the mistress was trying to say that Miss Gail messed around with the man when he was with his first wife. And I said, wait a minute, bitch, hold the fuck on. Hold on, okay? Because y'all know one thing about it over here, girl, we going to get into what's messy. And we've been getting into what's messy for a very long periodical time, okay? And we've been getting into messy stuff that's dealing with people's real lives, all right? So that's something we've been doing over here on this channel, all right? So we're going to, slide over here, get into it. Make sure you guys are coming in and being respectful, letting other people know that you were here by liking up the video, okay? And you can share as well, honey. But this is some messy shit. This is some messy shit, girl. So let me just, without further ado, let me go and make sure my headphones is on, child, so we can see what Miss Gail is talking about, all right? Let's get into this very first video. This video, I do believe, and first of all, I'm gonna try not to be here too long, okay? So we're gonna try and get into all of this and not be here too long. This appears to be her exposing the husband. My noble husband and his mistress caught at the ATL airport. It's the fact that the mistress got a little grin on her face, and it's giving heavy on the unbothered bitch. It's giving, I know exactly who you are, and I'm unbothered. So this looks like one of those situations where she shows us where we are, and then she goes into how did we get here. All right. So let me go to the next one because I want the tea.
Hey, y'all. Well, it's story time in regards to that video I posted this morning of my husband and his mistress at the Atlanta airport. So, let me just preface this by saying, I'm a nice person. I'm a sweet person. I'll do anything for my family and my friends. And I'll help anybody out. Try to stay in my own lane. I try not to bother anyone or do any of that. But when people play in my face and plot and plan,
Oh, girl, he was definitely
and do foul
playing
stuff, I'm not so nice anymore. And that's how most of us are. So let me start by saying on October 29th of 2022, my husband was scheduled to come home from a trip from Europe. He told me he had been over there working.
October 29th,
and he worked a lot for his, his corporate job. I thought he was working anyway.
Europe.
Told me he had a speaking engagement in Europe. So I wanted to make sure that I had dinner and everything ready for him by the time he got home. So I called the airline. So I knew the flight number. and I was driving, so I couldn't, type it in my computer, because usually if you just type a flight number in, it'll just pop up what time the flight's going to land. So I had to call the airline that day, and when I asked the flight attendant, or not the flight attendant, I'm sorry, but the representative, what time that flight came in, he asked for my husband's name. And I was like, you don't need his name. I was like, just give me the flight information. If I typed it in, I just need the flight information. You don't need his name. So he was adamant about me giving the name. So I gave him the name. He comes back a few minutes later and he says, Mr. Such and Such and Miss what's her name landed 20 minutes ago. So I'm in shock, because I've been married 25, 26 years, and I'm thinking I'm just married to this outstanding, upstanding citizen. So I said, no, just his name. I don't know who that other person is, but just his name. And the guy states again, he was like, Mr. Such and Such and Miss what's her name just landed a few minutes ago, like 20 minutes ago. So I'm sitting in the Kroger parking lot like, what does this mean? I'm in a state of shock, actually. So my head is spinning by this time. My blood pressure's going up. And I'm like, what does this mean? So I'm like, okay. So right after that, my husband calls. And I was trying to hold it in and trying to hold what I was.
I have to pause. Oh, let me let her finish because she almost done.
Feeling in. So I was like, I'm not going to say anything right now. I'm going to wait till he gets to the house, because he was like, oh, I missed you. It's been a long, long week. This is the hardest money I ever earned, but I wish you could have gone with me. And I was like, okay, well, you can tell me about your trip when you get home. So, okay, stand by, y'all, for the rest.
Okay. So my question is, it's something about the reaction that's not quite hitting just yet. Okay. She said blood pressure going up. And she was like, first she was like, I don't need the other person's name, you know what I'm saying? I just need like his name. Well, I don't know who that is. Well, Miss such and such and him is on the way back. Or they just landed or whatever. And then you talking about and I'm like, why your blood pressure going up if you don't know just yet who this other person is, Miss Gail? See, Miss Gail, what it's giving is that you've been a I'm sorry, not been a hoe. What it's giving is that you have not been able to fully trust him, is what it's giving, Miss Gail. All right, for your blood pressure to immediately go up and you not know who that was. That could have been an assistant and somebody that worked with the company. Is what I'm thinking before your blood pressure go up. So if your blood pressure is starting to rise, then I'm thinking that you kind of already had an inkling about his whole shit to begin with. Because what did you say your reason was to calling? Oh, you said that you was getting ready to cook him something to eat, some dinner. So you wanted to call to find out, I guess, when his flight touched down. Miss Gail, I'm have to run that back. This might take a little longer than what I thought, Miss Gail.
Well, it's story time in regards to that video I posted this morning. I'm a nice person, my own lane. I try not to bother anyone or do any foul stuff. I'm not so nice anymore. Of 2022, my husband was scheduled to come home from a trip from Europe. He told me he had been over there working, and he worked a lot for his corporate job. I thought he was working anyway. Told me he had a speaking engagement in Europe. So I wanted to make sure that I had dinner and everything ready for him by the time he got home. So I called the airline.
You wanted to make sure you had dinner and everything ready for him by the time you got home, girl. This is what it's giving to me. First of all, Mr. Gail, what kind of relationship you got? For me, I mean, maybe it's me, girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm much younger than Miss Gail, honey. And how we do things now versus how y'all did them then, I feel like it's a piece of different. Okay, because he better catch his ass something to eat on his way home. Hello, and it's the fact that you needed to call the airline to find out what time he gonna get us, so you get to the house so you can make sure that you had that dinner on the table for him. It's giving he definitely run that motherfucking house, that you needed to call the airline to find out when he touches down so you can. It sounds like something that you better have for him by the time he get to this house. Am I tripping? I could be tripping. I know what I'm thinking in my head, and it may not be coming out. God damn it, Tasha. Let me text her ass. Let me text her and tell her that I am in the middle of something. Okay, give me 1 second. Girl, this is so rude. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay. Let me try and get her a call. Okay, so anyway, listen now. Am I tripping, y'all? Because it sounds like something that Miss Gail is supposed to do, something she better have done by the time this get off. Because I'm sorry, y'all, I'm a little different. I wish my man would be getting his off a flight and think that I'm finna sit up here and cook and I better have dinner. I'm not finna better have shit. Now I might, you know what I'm saying? I might put a little something out there anyway, you know what I'm saying? But it's something about that that's a little different. He definitely running the house for me. Get your stuff off your feet. And then got the audacity to be out there, cheating. When all the time that I was loving you, you was busy loving someone else. What? I can't.
So, okay, y'all. So when he comes home, I greet him at the door, give him a hug and a kiss and ask him about his trip while he's unpacking. And so I'm like, show me some pictures from your trip. And he was like, oh, I didn't take any pictures. I was running around working
Just
and we
a
were just so busy
bald-headed
on
lie.
the go. We were just, just going to and fro. So I was like, oh, okay. So when we go to have dinner, I was like, hey, I called the airlines to see what time your flight was getting in. And I said, they told me there was someone else on your itinerary. And I tell him the person's name. And he was like, who was that? And I was like, I don't know. You tell me. He was like, oh, I don't know who that is. And he was like, mm-mm. He said, they must have made a mistake. So I was like, well, okay. So I went along with it, but something about it, my spirit just was not feeling right. So I was like, something about this is just not right. So that night when we go to bed, he's sleeping over there just a snoring. I'm over there tossing and turning because I was like, something about this just does not feel right. So something tells me in the morning when you get up, go check your credit card bills that are on the counter. So the credit card bills are all stacked up out on our kitchen counter, and I don't open them because I don't pay the bill. I mean, it's American Express bill each month. They be high. So I was like, I ain't got nothing on it, so no need for me to open them. But that was my account, and I added him to it years ago, and I just let him open the bill.
And he has the audacity to put another bitch on the card, girl. Girl, what happened? What did you say? Not that was my car. I added him to it years ago, bitch. I would have threw them hands. Okay, but I understand you got to collect your data. You got to collect your information first, girl. That is some trifling stuff. Because if she added you to her card, then it's given that you probably didn't even have what you needed to have to even qualify for that card. And now you done got to a position where you finna pay the card off. Or at least you could you could manage the card now, but she added you to the card. Now, I could be wrong. That's just my assumption. That's what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? For her to add him to the card, I would think she's trying to help his credit or something like that. You feel me? And then you out here flying another bitch on the card. Girl, get that pot of grits ready.
And there was sometimes I would open it, but most times I would just look at my portion of it and just keep it moving. So that morning when I get up, I go to church, and he tells me that he had to leave because he had to catch up on work and all that kind of stuff later on in the day. So I was like, okay. So I go to church, and when I come back from church, I get ready to go to the Falcon game. But something was like, check one of those credit card bills before you go. When I opened up that bill, the woman that the airline employee mentioned that was on his itinerary, her name was up and down my credit card bill. Flights here, flights there, flights to Paris, Delta vacations, a country here, an island there. So I'm thinking this was in 1 month. So I'm sitting there like, what?
In 1 month?
In the world? So by this time, y'all, I'm steaming, and I got to go to this Falcon game with my girlfriends and try to act like I'm having a good time. But the whole time, my mind is racing. So I was like, okay. So I come home that night. I stack up all those bills. I got bills for like 8 months worth of bills. Actually, that was October. So 10 months. I pulled from December of 21 to October of 22. And when I tell you, it was very telling. This woman's name was on every one of my bills for each of those months several times. So while I thought he was out working and telling me that I couldn't travel with him because, he didn't want to get distracted. Oh, he had a travel mate, all right. He had one. Stand by for part 3.
First of all, I need to know what the fuck kind of job this NIGGA got. He got all kind of flights to different countries and islands in 1 motherfucking month. What kind of job he got that requires him to not be at the house like that? And you sat there this whole time and you didn't know, like nothing popped in your head. I need to know what kind of job this man has. Okay? that makes you not even question all of the trips this mother is taking. Girl, you would have thought that this man was a truck driver. The way he be away from the house. That's wild to me, girl. And she had been on your credit card for almost a year at that point, and that's just that you checked from 2021. At the end of 2021, all the way up to October, that's almost a year. Girl, these are, Miss Gail, we have questions. Girl, Miss Gail, you sure you ain't got somebody on the side? Because if you friends with Candy, Candy had already told you, when you out at the, don't think I'm not. Feeling good in somebody's spot, getting hot, don't stop, just don't think I'm not. So I would have thought that you would have had your little piece on the side or something the way he be gone.
So I go through all these credit card bills, finds this girl's name for months on my credit card bills, for the last 10 months specifically. So at that time, I try to call his phone, call my husband's phone and text him. No answer, no text back. So I called his boy's house because he told me he was going to his boy's house to watch football. No answer from him. So I texted him and was like, hey, is he with you? No answer back. Then all of a sudden, here come my phone ringing. It's my husband. Like, oh, I ran out to get something to eat. Like, what's up? And I was like, oh, you know what's up. I said, and I started repeating the girl's name. And he was like, why you keep saying that name? And I was like, I kept saying the name. So he was like, well, I don't understand why you keep calling the name. And I was like, oh, yeah. I said, your gig is up.
Oh.
I was like, you nasty motherfucker.
Wow.
I was like, your gig is up. So he was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm on my way home. I was like, bring your ass on home. I was like, come home. Because by this time, I'm furious. So I hang up the phone. I'm just like livid, y'all. I promise you. I think my blood pressure was on like 1,000 that day.
Wow.
So he comes in, and he come in like all Billy Bad, like, why you keep mentioning that name? And I was like, you tell me why I keep mentioning that name. So I was like, I'm going to ask you this. I said, I'm going to ask you one time. I said, no, I know the truth. I was like, was such and such on this flight with you? He was like, no, I don't know why you keep mentioning that name. I don't know who that is. I said, I'm going to ask you one more motherfucking time and know that I know the truth.
I know that's
Don't
right.
lie to me. And it was like this mask fell off of him. And he sat down in his chair and he was like, yeah, she was with me. And I was like, okay. I said, so that's your girlfriend? He was like, yeah.
Girl, what in the Martell Holt? Oh, girl, you know what? I feel like as soon as he said, yeah, you should have. I'm not condoning DV. I'm not condoning it, but I'm just saying you should have dicked him like Hasseline did in that therapy session with Stevie when he sat up there and said Mimi had been at the house like that. Okay? He couldn't even breathe the next minute before she clocked him in his
I said, well, how long you been with her? He said a couple of years. And I was like, okay. So by this time, I can't hold it together. I mean, I think
It's the bold. Girl, I cannot take it. Like, girl, I'm nervous about as we continue. We on what I guess this is technically part 3, but I am like, girl, my chest is tightening a little. Like, girl, I'm feeling for you, ma'am. It's the boldness for me, for him to put it on the credit card and then to tell you that he been with this, like, yeah, that's your girlfriend, and then say you been with her for 2 years. Like, the lack of respect that he has for you, because it is giving doormat. Okay? I cannot. This is the type of shit I feel like Marceau would be. Girl, let me not put that on Marceau. But when I was thinking of doormat, I did think of Tisha, but this the girl that it ain't even about them, girl. We talking about Gail right now, girl. Focus on Gail, honey.
all I remember doing, I remember crying, and I had a really, really bad headache. And all he said to me was, and this was what he says was really kind of like cut me. He was like he was relieved. He was like, at least I ain't got to lie no more. I'm sorry I hurt you, but at least I don't have to lie anymore. So by this time, I'm like, say what
baby,
now?
that means he don't give a damn.
I'm screaming, I'm yelling. My
He
son's
finally got
upstairs.
off
He
his
comes
chest.
down, goes back up.
He didn't give a damn about her tears. Don't care nothing about her. Just like, I'm glad I finally told you what the hell I had to tell you. But anyway, what else is going on? Whoo, child.
Like, everything's fine. But my head is like hurting like really, really bad.
This is too messy here.
So I come back to my bathroom to try to get some medicine. So I was like, let me take my blood pressure. Blood pressure was like 190 over 110 or some crazy shit like that. So I was like, I got to get to a hospital. So stand by. It's more interesting.
I'm nervous, girl. You got me worried. I hate how this shows up on here. Let's fix that, guys. Uh-oh, my bad. Let's fix this. All right, here we go. Let's fix that. Thank you so much, Marie, for the super chat. All right, it says, hold on, what is this? Let me see. Because I think it may just be like, oh, it's a super sticker. Sorry. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it, Marie. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's get to the next part.
Y'all, when he hit me with I don't want a divorce, but I'm going to keep seeing her because I ain't going to let nobody fuck up my money. Let me tell you something. That was definitely the wrong answer and told me everything I needed to know about him, about the marriage, and what I needed to do next. So,
girl, he said
for
what?
the next couple of days, y'all, when he hit me with I don't want a divorce, but I'm going to keep seeing her because I ain't going to let nobody fuck up my money. Let me tell you something. That was definitely the wrong answer and told me everything I needed to know about him, about the marriage, and what I needed to do next. So for the next couple of days, I'm still in a state of confusion. And I remember once I found the girl's name,
Bitch, I have to pause. Girl, I was finna let you keep going, But I'm confused. So him continuing to see her, I'm going to continue to see her because I don't want nobody picking up my money. Okay, the first thought is, how the hell you continuing to see her or not seeing her is going to F up your money. But basically, I guess you're speaking about not getting the divorce. Because if I divorce you, then I'm going to have to pay you a lot of my money. And I'm not going to do that. So basically, I'm not divorcing you. I'm not filing for one. I ain't signing no papers. I'm not going to do none of that shit. And basically, what's going to happen is you're going to have to deal. BIT, Miss Gail, you should have knew you was going to have to deal. The fact that when you had to call the airline to find out when he lands so you can make sure you had that dinner on that motherfucking table for him. Hello? You should have found out at that moment that you was going to have to deal. Because he wasn't finna let nobody fuck up his money. And see, he got you right where he wants you because didn't you just say that you don't pay the bills or nothing? So he take care of everything in the house, right? Girl, a lot of them, they be doing that. They be the type of shit that they be on. Okay? You ain't got no choice but to let me cheat in peace. Okay? Because if you don't, then you ain't gonna have this lifestyle that you got right now. Ooh.
Instagram, good old Instagram, you go look there, you find anything. So I look up her name, I see her, and I'm really like feeling down. I'm like, oh my God, like she's beautiful. He wants him someone younger, like I ain't all that, dot, dot, dot. So I'm just tearing my ass up. So, my girls called later that day. My best friend called that morning and was checking in on me, and I was trying to hide it from her, but I couldn't. So I'm like in a ball of tears, telling her what's happened. She's in a state of shock. And usually she always got something to say, but she was left speechless. So she calls my other girlfriend. She calls. We all in a state of shock. Everybody's tore to pieces. So that day, after, I tell them what happened and everything, everybody, we just call it, we all were shocked. So the next day I go and meet with them because I see this girl on Instagram and I'm telling them about it. So they asked me to come out to have lunch with them, my two girlfriends. So, because they needed to tell me something. So, and I bring it up. I was like, well, I see her pictures on Instagram. And I was like, she's pretty. And they were like, girl, she ain't all that damn pretty. Like, that's filters and plastic surgery and a whole bunch of other shit. Like, girl, it ain't even all that. And they were like, in kind of, it's like, we ain't trying to offend you. Y'all actually kind of favor each other. Like, she may be the younger version of you. So I'm thinking, like, I don't look like her. Like, that girl's, pretty. Like, I don't look like that. So in the interim, I was like, well, at least I said they don't have any pictures of themselves up on her Instagram. So my girlfriends was like, that's why we needed to meet with you. Because they were like, there is a picture out there. So by this time, y'all, I'm devastated. So our food tries to come. We have papados. Food comes. I'm so distraught from tears and looking a hot mess. Couldn't really even eat. And we went into how bad off I was. You bad off when you can't do this. We needed to pray over our food. I couldn't even put my hands together to pray. I have never had that to happen. I couldn't even pray. I literally put my head down on the table while they were saying a prayer and cried.
Wow.
And basically, they made me try to eat because I really could not eat anything. So it was just a complete mess. So when I get home, my husband, he was actually gone. I think he was gone, but he claimed he had a trip or something. And then he tells me when he did come home, like, well, I need to talk to you because I think we need a little break. So he was like, you need a break so you can think about some things. And I
What?
was like, huh? Like, I need to think about some things. He was
What?
like, yeah, you need a break so you can think about some things.
Girl, what kind of whoa. That what? She the one that needs to break so she can think about some things. Like she ain't never had no business looking into no into no AMX credit cards and finding out something. Like you should have never did none of that. That's how he coming at her. You need to sit down and think about like she's in the wrong. Girl, that is wild. Thank you so much, D Johnson, for the super chat. It says he cheated on his first wife and she took half. That's why he ain't trying to leave this one here. Girl, so now my question is, girls, they still married or we gonna find out that they divorced? Let me keep going.
So yeah, to add insult to injury, he tells me he needs to go away for 3 to 6 months for me to think about some things and to think some things over.
Wait, no,
And
he
I was
did
like,
not. He said, girl.
So, yeah.
What is going on? He needs to go away for a few months. This is not good. I don't see how you endured, girl. I'm trying to get to the point to when you lay hands on him.
Yeah, to add insult to injury, he tells me he needs to go away for 3 to 6 months for me to think about some things and to
3
think
to
some things
6
over.
months?
And I was like, I need to think some things over. I was like, I don't need to think about anything. He was like, yeah, I need to go away so you can think about some things. So I'm like, okay.
Listen,
And this is a straw that broke the camel's back when he said this. And I knew that this
ma'am,
man
I
actually,
thought the straw been broke the camel. The straw been broke it. You wasn't broke. It didn't break when he said 3 to 6 months. It didn't did it break when he said he ain't getting no divorce and he don't need nobody picking up his money? Girl, how many more straws need to break? Am I tripping? Oh, girl, how long she said her and that man had been together? That's what it is. It's the history. That's why they got a child together. So she she still process. Everybody processes things differently. So she's still been in her processing phase. So I guess, this is for her when the straw broke.
actually had no love for me and that he had been planning and plotting for a long time. He was like, yeah, and if you find somebody in that 3 to 6 month time frame, I'll understand. Now, who tell their spouse that? If they really love you, they don't want you all sleeping with nobody
Yeah, a
else.
person that don't
Not
care.
if everybody normal, ain't nobody sick or doing anything like that. So I knew then, I was like, I don't have but one other option. Divorce is the only option for me. And I tell you, I prayed about it, asked God about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you he was sending me signs, if you listen, he will send you signs. And he sent me sign after sign after sign, y'all. So I did. I filed for divorce, and each day I've gotten stronger. And I think my husband thought that, I don't know what he thought about me or what kind of person I was, but because he knew how I felt about infidelity, and I always used to tell him, hey, if something ever happens, tell me on the front end, because I'm gonna hurt one way or the other, on the front end, on the back end.
Right.
Just let me know, but don't play me for no fool.
Right.
So he thought he got Boo Boo the fool over here. So
He
I was like,
did,
okay.
because Boo Boo called down to that fucking airline. And I'm not going to let you forget, ma'am. You called down there to see what time he was going to land, ma'am. So you can make sure you had a dinner on the table. He definitely thought he had Boo Boo when he said, this is my girlfriend. I've been with her for 2 years. As bold as he's talking to you now, I'm having a hard time believing that the nigga was sitting over there lying on the front end. So now I'm glad I ain't got to lie. Girl, and as reckless as he's been moving, taking all these trips multiple times the month or whatever, I feel like that man probably thought that you knew. Okay? Cause ain't no way a bitch finna just let a nigga get away like that. Like, girl, what kind of job this man? What he do? Do he fly the planes? Like, what the fuck going? Is he a pilot? What's going on?
And for Miss Girl that you saw in the video, yeah, she knew about me. He would have her at restaurants, hotels, games, had other women serving me my drinks. They'd feet under my table speaking to me, and he's sleeping with all these women. That is humiliating, y'all. So, you know what? I was like, if you give me shit to taste, I'm going to let you taste it back. So, to the airport video. Yeah, I was shocked. I was dismayed because that was my first time seeing them. I knew it eventually that I would see them out somewhere. It's Atlanta, and hey, it's a small town. So, it's
That
a big
is
town,
very
but it's a
embarrassing.
small town too. So, I was like, okay, I'm going to try my best to be classy and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes that just don't work. Because when you go in a gutter, when people go gutter with you, and I have to apologize to Michelle Obama. Girl, when you said that, when they go low, we go high, that ain't my motto. Because when they go low, I go lower. I go gutter. I'm going gutter. I'm going to swim down with the rats with your ass. So I was like, okay, yeah. So she knew. And she was on Instagram sending all her little subliminal messages and all of that.
No, she wasn't, girl.
Like, yeah, okay. I got you, girl. But y'all, when all this is over, I got a little story to tell about her and the rest of his story too. Our story. It's actually our story because it's my story to tell.
That's right.
So I'll share more with you all. But let me
Please
tell you
do.
something. It's a cautionary tale. If you all want to move on, just say you want to move on, y'all. Because if you fuck around, you definitely going to find out. And just like him, my husband got the 1 and the 2. Be good.
He definitely got 1 and 2, ma'am. He definitely had the 1 and the 2 for sure. Let's keep going.
So by this time, my head is banging.
Okay, so this was part 5. I guess this was a piece that she left out.
Of course, I'm crying. I'm hysterical, trying to put my clothes on. He's trying to touch me and pet me up like, oh, I'm just so sorry that I made you feel this way. Now, didn't really have any compassion in his voice, any of that kind of stuff. So I was like, don't touch me. So I drive myself to the airport. He was like, I'll drive you. I was like, I said, I'll take my chances. I drive myself to the airport. I get there. Blood pressure is off the charts to the point they're like, ma'am, you're about to have a stroke. You got to calm down. And I really couldn't even talk. So they were like, you got to calm down. So they call my doctor. We get the medicine. They try to get it under control. So I'm there for a couple of hours. So I come home, and he's sitting on the couch eating Cheetos like, ain't shit happened, right? Then comes in like, oh, what they say? And I was like, they said, they got my pressure, kind of down because it went all the way down. They said, go see a doctor in the morning. So that night, I could not sleep. I cried all night long to the point when I got up that morning, I really couldn't even see. My eyes were so swollen. So I'm tore up, right? So I go out later that morning. He's upstairs. I come upstairs because I slept in another bedroom. He's around here like, like do, like, he having a good day and shit. Like, his burdens is light. Mine heavy, but his is light. So I come up, and then he's out in our family room, and I was like, look, I said, I don't know. And I'm still in a state of confusion. So I was like, I don't know what happened last night. And I was like, I don't know what I've done wrong. Because by this time, I'm blaming myself. I was like, I know I'm getting older, but I try to keep myself up. I try to look nice, do whatever I can as a wife. I was like, I've tried my best, so I don't even know what I could have done or what I can do. So I'm taking the blame. And he was like, oh, it's not you. Like, it's not you. So, but I'm like, no, like, it's got to be me. He was like, no, he's like, you're a good wife. You've been a really good wife. So I was like, well, I'll tell you what. I was like, I'm confused here. I say, so what we need to do, I was like, I think we need to sell the house. Let's move away, try to start over.
They're not moving away like this one.
I go to counseling. We do some counseling, and we start over. So he was kind of like real smug with it, like, well, if that's what you want, like, yeah, we can do that. So I was like, well, what about her? Are you going to stop seeing her? So he paused for like 20 seconds and kind of tilted his head to the side. He was like, I ain't going to tell you I'm going to stop seeing her. And I was like, then you want a divorce? He was like, oh, I don't want a divorce. He was like, I ain't going to let nobody fuck up my money.
Oh, that's when he said that.
And I was blown away.
The sound that cued at the end, it's not funny. It's not funny, but dude, like, bitch, you are not lying when you do that. Like, and that's that. Like, what the hell?
Hey y'all, after I posted that video of my husband and his mistress in the Atlanta airport,
Uh-huh.
and I decided to share my story with you all,
What happened?
when I say that you all have shown an outpouring of love, support, kind words, prayers, just everything. And I just want to say how grateful I am, because that was very hard for me. And it's still hard for me. This is a journey that I wouldn't wish on anyone. This kind of betrayal and the lies and the deception, no one deserves that, you know. And just reading some of you all's stories, it makes me sad to know that so many people are still going through this same thing, you know. And it's not even about, you know, everybody's going through it. Black, white, you know, it has no color line, and men are going through it too with women who are doing the same thing. But, you know, I'm hoping that this will help someone know that they can share their story and not live in shame, thinking they can't say anything and to protect the other person. Those days are gone, y'all. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting me and loving on me during this time. So this is a love that I didn't even know I needed, but I needed it, guys. So, and for the Ride Out crew, y'all cracked me up, getting ready to get y'all Air Force Ones or y'all stomping boots. But y'all, I'm too old for that. And I'll tell y'all
This is
I'm
true.
just
I
being
understand.
completely transparent. When I ran up on them in the airport, I never knew what I would do if I ever saw them together. And I didn't do anything because I'm older now and I can't fight. I really cannot fight, and I didn't want her to whip my ass. So I was like, I'm not doing that. So y'all, we're not going to fight. We're going to fight with our tongues and fight with the legal system. And since I'm
Okay.
still going through this process, according to
I'm with
my,
it.
you know, trusted counsel, Rachel St. Fleur and Melanie Fenwick Thompson, I got to start thinking smarter, guys. So I couldn't, you know, go off and do that. So I want to advise you guys too. Like sometimes we have to restrain. We do have to use
This is
self-restraint,
true. This
guys.
is very
So
true.
I do appreciate you all, you know. And to my super sleuth, when I tell you, y'all are better than the FBI, the CIA, Scooby Doo, Perry Mason. Y'all are on it. But yeah, we can lean back on some of that now. You know, we'll get it handled, guys. But thank you for your support. You know, and for you all who said I stayed, I did not. I know my worth. And as soon as I got more information after I initially found out on October 29th of 2022, there was so much more that came out between that time and when I filed. But I can't share that with you all right now because it is actually, this story gets crazier and crazier. But can't share that with you all right now, but I will at some point, you know. And I just hope that it helps someone else know that you're not going crazy. You're not alone with the gaslighting and people making you feel like, you know, you are less than. You're not. So, you know, and for me, you know, for those who want to stay, that is your prerogative. I'll support you, but I'm not one of those you, me, and she kind of girls. You know, there's not gonna be no Eve and the Rough Riders on that one. No, it's either you or me. You know, I value the institution of marriage. I made a commitment to God. I made a commitment to Him, and He just didn't stand up He didn't stand up on His end. So, you know, it is what it is, guys. But I thank you all so much, and you'll be hearing from me soon. Hope y'all have a good one. Peace. Good morning, y'all. Earlier this morning, I posted a lengthy and detailed video stating that today was my 28th wedding anniversary, and I was giving some details about how I met my husband. And I told you all earlier that, you know, we're going through this process right now. I can't share too much of it, but I would share everything once we kind of get through. And I feel the need to address this. I really shouldn't have to, but I want to. So I ain't nobody's victim, and I ain't having nobody's pity party. So my original post was about me seeing him and her for the first time in the airport. I admitted that I was shocked. I was. And the video was only about 7 seconds where I said, have a good flight. I think I said, hey, Harold, have a good flight. And I walked on off, right? And I turned the video off after that. And then I said something like, you know, that's his mistress. He's my husband. I'm the wife. And I went on back to where I was sitting in the Sky Club. Didn't say anything else. So I guess she's is saying something about when we got to the gateway to get on the plane. Yeah, I said some things to him, but he's my husband, so I can say whatever I want to say to him. And it's just like kicking any trash can. You kick it, and the trash may get over on you too. So some of it, she might have caught some of the flack. But that's just par for the course when when you do this kind of stuff. And well, it wasn't too much I could do anyway because I had filed for divorce the year earlier. I filed for divorce in December of 22, so wasn't anything I really could do, guys. But other than doing what I did do, and then I kept it moving. But let me tell you something. Me and this girl are not the same person. When she met my husband, she knew he was married. She actually encouraged him to leave me. She was doing really disrespectful shit. She came to my Spelman Morehouse homecoming and sat under my tent and saw me sitting right there beside him.
When the hell was this?
And knew he was married. And we were all having a good time. There was no animosity that day. We were all having a good time. So as far as I'm concerned, she came around my family uninvited. Or actually, he might have invited her, but she knew what the deal was. Okay. Then she had the nerve to post that clip of Sunshine from Harlem Nights the day that I found out everything. Yeah, because I went on one of her pictures and kind of said a few things. And then she posted that video just kind of trying to taunt me. So I'm like, so you're going to taunt me and gloat after I find out that you've been with my husband. So, I'm like, So, like I said, I don't owe anyone an explanation, but I'm keeping it 100. So I ain't judging him. I ain't judging her. But at the same time, she and I ain't the same. And this is not about her. This is all about him and his lies, his deception, and all of that. So before you all get to start want to judge me and start talking about it's karma and all that, it could be, but it is what it is. So I mean, I have to live with it. I'm gonna be accountable for 100% of all my shit. So, but I'll say before you all start throwing stones and want to judge somebody, you need to hear the whole story. So.
Well, Harold, are you gonna come tell your side?
Every woman he's ever been with has been deceived and lied to. But I'll give you the story about how he and I met and what the situation was. Stand by.
Girl, we would love to hear that. But see, I think I missed the piece where she talked about the lady coming around the family. So she had been coming around the family before you even knew that he had been messing with the lady or something. You just probably remember seeing her face but didn't quite know her name. Girl, that is some messy bold girl. Woo, child. Thank you so much, Natasha, for the super chat saying Harold. That's his name, girl. Thank you for the super chat. Let's get into more.
Hey, y'all. I'm gonna address this part about the start of my relationship with my husband, and I'm gonna be done. And you can say what you want to say, do what you want to do. I mean, it is what it is.
Let's
and
get into some
30
things
years
then.
ago. But when I was introduced to him, I was told he was not married.
Oh, shit.
Only to find out later that he was. So I told him then that I did not deal with married men and that I didn't want to do anything to some other woman that I didn't want done to me. Oh. And I meant that, and I still hold to that. So, of course, he gave me the standard, we've been having problems and all that kind of stuff. And whenever I would talk to him, I would tell him, he would try to be hitting on me, but I would knock it right down because I wasn't attracted to him. My husband was overweight, morbidly obese, actually. But he was a nice guy. But when I would talk to him, I would encourage him to stay with his wife and kids. And I thought he thought that was the oddest thing, but that's what I would do. Okay. I would encourage him because I didn't like him like that. And I was like, you married, so this ain't going anywhere anyway. So.
Gail, girl. Not Gail, girl. Gail, girl. Gail, girl. Gail, girl. Like, that's all I could keep saying is Gail, girl. Gail, girl. Gail, girl. Now, you know that you shouldn't have never befriended this motherfucking man. Somebody you wasn't going nowhere because he was married. You sure? Gail, girl, are you sure? You knew that's where you had messed up at first. How much you wasn't attracted to him. Why would you even get that married man your number only to encourage him to stay with his wife and stuff? Like, you told us not to judge you, and I am not judging you, Gail, girl. I'm not. I am just asking questions. That's all that I'm doing. I'm not trying to, but girl, Gail, girl, girl, stop it.
He kept asking me like, what if I was divorced? Because she and I having problems and all of that. And I was like, well, if that's the case, you need to get your problem handled. I said, I can't even think about ever even dating you or doing any of that because you're still married. So lo and behold, he tells me that he's going to divorce her. He started his process and that, he wanted me to be his girl and all that kind of stuff. Actually gave me some diamond earrings to let me know. He was like, this is to let you know that I'm super duper serious about this thing. So
God
I was like,
damn
well,
it,
okay then,
girl.
because during this whole time, I would
Gail.
not, we had no intimate relationship or any of that for like 3 months. Because actually, I was calling him Al Bundy, and he didn't even know why I was calling him that. Because he was like, why you always call me Al Bundy? And I was like, because you married with children, and I don't mess with Al Bundys or whatever, right? So once he
Not Al
started his divorce
Bundy.
proceedings, he asked me would I date him. So I did. So there may be some fault there where I started dating him before his actual divorce was final. But I made sure that he had filed divorce because that's what he told me. So we did take a trip to the Essence Music Festival the first year, and a phone call came in, and I'm assuming that it was his wife, but the way he responded to the call let me know that basically something was up, and that he probably had lied to me. So when we get off the phone, I was like, I thought you filed for divorce. Like, why was that conversation going that way? He didn't really have too much to say. But he was like, well, no, I talked about it, but I was going to file. I'm still doing some reach out. I'm filing when I get back and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, I was furious because I was like, you've lied to me. Like, why would you, tell a lie like that? The only reason I came with you on this trip was because you told me you had filed and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking everything kosher with them, and that I didn't have anything to do with that. Because he told me in the beginning, like, no, she and I having issues. And if I file for divorce, it has absolutely nothing to do with you.
This is funny as fuck. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but Gail, girl, like this is some hilarious shit. Like this is hilarious. Cause all I'm thinking about as you're talking, Gail, is that I'm thinking about how you still went on to marry him. Somehow we still got to the place where you married the very man who showed you who the hell he was on the front end. The very man that you said that you wasn't really interested in because you don't do Al Bundy's. Meanwhile, you over here hanging out with Al Bundy. Like, girl, what's going on, Gail? Girl, like, I am laughing at you. But here's the thing, though. See, Gail, this is why you're going to win with the internet, in my personal. Because you spilling your own tea and you ain't letting another BIT try and spill it for you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you're telling your own story and you being honest about it, regardless of what shame, embarrassment, whatever may come to it. That's why you say you ain't nobody's victim, based on what he did to you. So I feel like, the people still gonna like you ultimately if that's what you were seeking or whatever. Because you spilling your own tea. Thank you so much, D Johnson, for the super chat. Jamie, you got me going through a whole rabbit hole. I put Mr. Harrell's bio in the chat. He's the whole president of Rent-A-Center. Girl, what? The whole and that's where he making all that money on a monthly basis for him to be flying out, taking that many trips. And see, Gail, girl, you knew what the hell was going on. Because Rent-A-Center ain't got him out there overseas and on different islands. You already knew what was going on. That's why you immediately said that your blood pressure went up and this and that. Like, that's when I questioned it in the beginning, and I'm just not hearing a lot of this like stuff. I think I watched like maybe 1 or 2 videos of her, so I didn't even hear none of this stuff, that I'm watching, with you guys now. But I knew something was up from the beginning, and now we're learning that he was already married when she got with him the first time, and then now she's married while he get with somebody else. The only difference is he divorced that lady. And according to somebody in the chat, he took the woman got half of the money, but he ain't trying to divorce this one. Because he don't want her to get half of what the hell he got either. Girl, you knew what you was working with. Girl, this is girl, this right here is messy. It is indeed. Okay, come on, Fanny. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, come on, Fanny. Now, Gail, girl. Okay, that's what it's giving.
So I was like, well, okay then. So
this is a mess.
Like I said, I wasn't attracted to him at first. But he was a really nice
guy.
Okay,
somebody else is saying that he works for BSI. So did he used to work for Rent-A-Center? Now he working for BSI? What is BSI anyway? I have to look all this stuff up. Okay, boom. So see, you know what I'm saying? Now my girl Kiana said something different. Kiana said, girl, you found the wrong Harold. Okay. He works in finance for a mortgage company. And y'all know Miss Kiana. Okay. She is a realtor, as you guys can see now. Now, you might have found the wrong Harold. Or maybe that was Harold's past job. Okay. What I can say for Rent-A-Center and the mortgage company, they ain't flying his ass out there overseas like that. Okay. Over there on islands and shit. They not doing all of that, sending him on that many trips. Miss Gail, girl.
Nice guy. He was a professional guy. Was president of a company and all that kind of stuff. But I had my own thing. I was working. I was a single mom doing my own little thing. So I didn't really need
Oh,
him
he's the
for
director at Renter
anything.
Center
But
and BSI
the
Financials.
only thing that I'll say about that was,
I'm
I
sorry.
did start dating him after he filed for divorce. And I think from the time I met him to the time he divorced was like a 10-month span. So those first 3 months, I didn't say anything to him, like romantically, because I was not attracted to him.
Gail, you can't say you started dating him after he filed for a divorce because you just also told us that it didn't appear that he did. That's what he told you, but it didn't seem like that's actually what happened. He didn't necessarily file for the divorce. Did I miss something?
And that is for real. If you see the picture of him before, you'll know why. But he was a nice guy, so I'm just saying. But I'll say that maybe me dating him before the divorce was final was wrong, and I'll take accountability for that. But I can't go back 30 years now and correct that. I'm just trying to move forward and do what's right. But Miss Thing is trying to like paint this narrative like, oh, she was doing the same thing. Not the same thing at all, because my whole time I was encouraging him to stay with his people. She did not. I have the text messages between them from the day they met to all the things that he was telling her, the things she was telling him, and telling him that she didn't have anything, and that she left her family with just the clothes on her back, and just this little sob story for him. So I guess he went with it. But like I said, y'all, this was originally about me posting a video of me seeing them for the first time in the airport. So I ain't judging her. I ain't gonna judge him. Like I said, I'm not, but it ain't like I willfully went out and decided like I'm gonna go and destroy his family. It was nothing like that. So a lot of us were deceived. A whole bunch of us were deceived. So that is what he has done. That's what he continues to do. So, I'm gonna let it be what it is. And like I said, once we get further down the road in this process, I can share some things. I don't know how to share the receipts on here. I thought you could only do videos. So anybody that knows how you can post pictures and all of that of the text messages, I'll show you that I ain't got no lie to tell. And the whole time, I never talked to my husband's former wife. The only conversation we ever had was when she would bring the kids over and stuff like that. But she never said anything to me about me being the cause. But I did find this out, that after she found out that he and I was breaking up, she told someone that she was like, oh, she finally found out after all these years.
Wow.
And she finally found out who he really is.
Wow.
Because I think I mentioned in the earlier video about him telling me about how she was not having any kind of intimate relationship with him. And he thought it was because she was depressed and, had some postpartum and all of that. Turns out, word got back to me. She was like, I wasn't depressed, or I didn't have postpartum either. It was because I was tired of being in the doctor's office because he kept giving me stuff.
Ooh.
So, I'm going to just leave it there, guys. And like I said, once all this is over, I'll come back and give you plenty of details. So old girl can keep telling all the stories she wants, but, they hanging, they doing their thing. I just got a message from a woman this morning who saw them out in Dallas last night at True Lux and said that, old girl got pregnant by her husband some years ago while she lived in California. So she was like, she's all about the money. So, and she is. And I'm telling you, y'all, yeah, I've lived a privileged life, but I've earned everything I've got here in this household. When he was sick, when he was doing all his other stuff, when he had to get shit wiped off of him, she wasn't here. I was wiping shit, cleaning up vomit, and all the things that a wife would do. So for that, for better or worse, yeah, I stuck in between all of that. So, like I said, I'm going to end this right here. You can say what you want, judge how you want, but it's all good. I'm going to be good in the end. I was just sharing and hoping that my story would empower someone else to not be embarrassed, to stand up on your own, but it is what it is, and I'm living for today. Hope y'all have a good one.
Gail, girl, not you over here wiping shit like a good wife is supposed to. Ooh. Well, I ain't even gonna say supposed to, but anyway, you over there honoring your vows and wiping shit, because that is definitely for the worst. And he out here doing what the hell he wants to do. Girl, not you wiping shit, and he over here treating you like shit. Oh, wow, girl. Tyler Perry is working on his next movie right now based on your story called For Better or Worse. Oh, and then the ex-wife talking about how he kept giving her shit. So my question is this: does he have other children outside of the wife before you and you? Since you said that he was messing with so many different women, And you had been with this man for 30 years. I'm glad she mentioned that because I didn't catch it on the front end. I'm like, damn, 30 years? And he's been a fool this entire time? Does he have any more children? He might that you don't know anything about. Like, this is some wow. And you are old. You a grown, big, old man sitting over here passing it. Just passing whatever you got. Oh, girl, y'all ain't no better than the young folk out here. I'm just disappointed.
Hey y'all, this is my last video for today. Um, no one likes being called a liar.
That's
and
crazy.
particularly me. So I have not lied to you all. I have no reason to deceive you. Like I said, I didn't know the situation, the whole situation with he and his former wife, but I'm sure she probably went through the same thing I went through, but she never let me know that, and I only could go by the stories that he was telling me about them having issues and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure they did because, based on her saying why she wouldn't sleep with him.
Yeah.
But, in all fairness and honesty to me, everybody who knew me back then and knew us, during that time, they knew the story. He would tell them how hard I was. He was like, she was the meanest girl I've ever met. Because he was like, for the first 3 months, you couldn't even get a kiss from her. And he tells that story, and I'm sure it's on video from one of my birthday parties. So he knew who I was and how I was from the very beginning. So all this narrative they're trying to paint now, like, it wasn't like that at all. So, and I do have folks who will say that's exactly how it was. She told us she was not attracted to him, and not just because he was overweight. It just wasn't attracted to him, period. And he had a great job and all that. I was not attracted to him, and that didn't faze me because I was like, I just was not. And as I got to know him, I was like, okay, he's a nice guy. So I didn't use his size and the way he looked or anything like that against him. So I just felt he was a really sweet guy. But, y'all also ought to know that old girl is lying. And this ain't really about her, that she's lying, because can't nobody just walk up in the Delta Sky Club. Can't nobody just walk up on a plane, So that's just some, bullshit she putting out there. And she also told you all about the Europe thing. Remember I was telling y'all the story about when the day I found out everything, that he was coming from a business trip. It actually wasn't a business trip. It was him coming back from her birthday trip from Europe. I think they went to Paris, to Amsterdam, Tuscany, and
Wow,
somewhere
he been living
else.
a life,
But he
ain't he?
told me that he was on a business trip, and I have all the text messages to prove it. And I wish I knew how to upload some of this shit on here, the pictures, because I got proof, and I got proof too that she knew that he was married and how she encouraged him to leave. But I might need them for court, y'all. But anything that I think I don't need for court, I'll post it because I don't have any reason to lie. So I'm just letting y'all know, So if I owe anybody an apology, it might be his former wife, but that was I don't mind, giving her an apology, but that was based on the lies that he told me. And not saying that he has not told this girl the same lies, but I'm going to be accountable for my stuff. She not trying to be accountable for any of hers, but I'm just going to keep it 100 with you, y'all. So, like I said, this is the last one, but I want to be clear with y'all. If y'all got any questions for me, hit me up in my mailbox, and if I can hit you back, I will. Y'all have a good day. Thanks. Bye.
Snap. Girl. Oh, girl, not you. So you done booked the same flight as them? Girl, not you on the flight as them. And, you got the mistress right here just in her phone like ain't nothing going on. Like, yeah, girl, anyway, la, 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 la. Child, girl.
Good morning, Harold.
Morning, Harold.
Good to see you. Hope you have a good flight. I'll see you on the flight.
That bitch said, I'll see you on the flight. I'm screaming.
Stay focused. Don't talk.
Hold on. Let me go back. Can I pause it?
Stay focused. Don't talk about what you're going to do.
I
Don't
want
just
to
dream
see
about
it.
what you're going to do. Don't criticize somebody else for what they're not doing. Be it. Be about it. Be about that action and go do it.
The flight got canceled. I will go to Amsterdam, to Atlanta, Amsterdam to Atlanta, landing 3:40, baby. Cannot wait to see your ass. Okay, love bug. One more sleep until I see my baby. That's right. Night, night. Pretty young thing. Made it to Amsterdam. Boarding flight. They saw no Wi-Fi, or they say no Wi-Fi. I should be on the ground around 3 o'clock-ish, and then custodians. Okay. Love me some you too, love bug, and I appreciate how hard you go for us. I am grateful. I may take one of Gump's wines. I'm country. I want to try the Italian libations. I love you. Oh my. So Harold is saying, hope you're having a great day, pretty girl. I am back in Florence for the last round at dinner and will smoke at least one when I finish. This is the hardest 25K ever. I'm not complaining though because he is doing it. I love me some you, by the way. I ended up having to buy some wine at the winery. Hopefully you are okay. So is this between her and her husband? She says this was a few hours before I confronted him about the affair. Okay, so this looks like it's messages between she and her husband, though. Okay. Let me see what else. So this person said that they reached out to Miss Side Woman. Okay, she said she reached out to Side Woman and Side Woman responded.
I done had a dose of should have been minding my own damn business. That's what I get, getting in other folks' business. So, you know, the other day, Gail called her husband at the airport with Sabrina. So I went to Sabrina page, honey, and
So she asked Sabrina, why would you intentionally cause hurt to another woman?
I asked her why she did that, girl. And this is what she
Sabrina says, I guess my question to you is, why would you come to my page and ask me that and assume that this black woman actually did that when that's not really what happened? Let's get all the facts straight, okay?
had to tell me.
She says Gail was the one that slept with him while he was with his first wife, okay? The first wife caught them in New Orleans together. This isn't my
I was all
story.
up in they business.
She says this is Gail's story. She says, we did not get caught at the airport coming back from Europe together. She ran up on me a week ago.
Minding business that don't pay me.
She says they haven't lived together in over 2 years.
Baby, that's what
Tell her to tell you all the facts, okay?
she said now.
She says, tell her to actually play the entire video. And while we looked at her like that because she was screaming at us, why did I have a smirk? The smirk was because she kept calling my daughters bitchs and whores in front of people at the Sky Lounge. So I didn't go to prison. I had to calm myself. Girl, Gail just showed the video. It looked like, to me, Gail didn't run up on you like you saying she did, girl. It's giving you be lying, ma'am. That's what it's given. She says, I didn't go to prison. I had to calm myself and shake my head. That's what happened. She actually followed us onto the plane and they actually escorted her off the plane. I'm like, girl, Gail done caught a flight. So she got escorted off. You're saying Gail is leaving out some of the details. Okay. But I don't believe that lady was calling your kids and all of that. I don't believe that. All right. But anywho, she said she actually followed us onto the plane. She was escorted off the plane. She said, so what she's trying to do is get on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She feels like this is her way to do it. There's part of the story for you. I guess she's saying this is part of the story for you.
But yeah, after today, baby, I'ma mind my business.
Girl, now she trying to get on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't believe that. I don't believe she trying to. And girl, if she did, it probably would benefit you just a little piece. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Let me see. Is there anything else that I had regarding this? Oh, this was just Candy letting us know that this was her good home girl.
Story time. So, yesterday, I was with my daughters, Riley and Kayla, and they was like, did you see that story going viral on TikTok about the lady who caught her husband at the airport? I said, that sounds familiar, but I don't know. Now, why I didn't know my homegirl had got on live and told her story, and now it's viral. It's life, y'all. Hey, it's life.
Can I pause and say, if Gail came onto Real Housewives of Atlanta, I can't say I would be opposed to it. I'm like, Gail trying to get on the show. I don't think that lady trying to get on the show. But when we think about housewives, it's given Gail probably really was a housewife, though. And she's going through a divorce. Like, he was there taking care of everything. When I think of housewives, that's what I think of. Women that's more than likely at the house all the time, taking care of the house duties or whatever the case is. And the man is the one that's out there working, making all the money, whatever. So, I mean, she wouldn't technically be a housewife, but it's a whole lot of them that's not housewives right now. But girl, I'll probably tune in, see Gail do her little glow up or whatnot. But girl, anyway, let me just go ahead and press play.
gotta keep living. You gotta keep living. So it's like,
I'm gonna have to get you on speak on it now.
Yes, get her on speak on it.
How are you doing though? Tell the people currently, how are you?
I'm good. I'm getting stronger every day. It's been tough. No one ever wants to go through this, but I've had a lot of support and from my family, from my friends, and like I said from the very beginning, it's not something that I'm really comfortable sharing. But I just don't think when women or whoever's ever been done wrong, that you have to be the one to go and hide under a rock, that you have to be ashamed of something or made you feel like being embarrassed. Why do I have to go and hide? And I think I should be able to speak my truth. They're doing their thing. I should have to do mine too.
Okay, let me ask you this. As your husband, did he call you after you went by? Because I know everybody been hitting him.
Not. Everybody's asking me that. No, he didn't call me all the time.
Really?
Yeah, why would you call me now?
He didn't say anything?
What can he say?
Talking about?
Well, I know her page is private from what the people say. She done went private.
Well, when you were out in public, why you want private now? You were
Ooh, I know that's real.
You've been posting your pictures on Instagram and talking shit to me for months. Give me subliminal messages. Now, why are you private now? Because if you calling me the liar and said I had done something wrong, and I was the wife, and you out doing your thing, you can't call me a liar, girl. Why you private now? You don't have to go private if there's nothing wrong. If you're living right, you're doing right. Don't do that.
All right, well, anyway. It just cracked me up because my daughters just asked me about you yesterday, and here you are today. So I said, I got to do it.
That is wild, ma'am. You sitting over there calling this lady a liar. Meanwhile, you laying up with one. And it's crazy to me because it's like you already see what he has done. For you to be like, Gail isn't innocent. She slept with him when he was with his first wife. And then look at what you're doing now. You don't think that karma gonna hit you in a few years? You look foolish, but that's what y'all do when y'all sit up there and y'all think that y'all are different and y'all going to get a different response out of a person or whatnot. And then once it crosses you, once it happens to you, you be out here seeking sympathy from other people. Like, girl, no ma'am. But this right here was messy. All right. We appreciate Gail for bringing her business down to the social media for the entire world and airing out that husband, soon to be ex-husband of hers, and that mistress as well. Okay. Claudia, girl, get your friend. Because that's what it's giving, honey. It's giving that this is one of your good Judies over here on this page. And this was actually just taken. Well, she ain't tagged Claudia in this photo, though. She didn't tag her in this photo, but it does say some of the dopest women I know. Okay, this was out in Frisco, Texas, back in November, honey, and it's giving Miss Claudia right there, girl. So I don't know, is this your friend Claudia, girl? You might want to get that lady. But yeah, I see somebody say, oh, so this is Gail's karma. Gail said it could be her karma. It's giving it just might be. Even though she tried to downplay it a bit, talking about she don't do Al Bundy's whole time entertaining Al Bundy, honey. Ew. Well, that's all that I got. I just wanted to come down. A lot of people asked me to cover this story, talk about it. So we got into some things with Miss Gail, girl. All right. I'm Jamie. That's me. If you have yet to like the video, definitely like it up. We had over 700 people in the chat. So shout out to you guys. You could be anywhere, but you chose to be here with me. So I thank you guys so much. Okay. Thank you to everybody that's just subscribing to the channel, enjoying the content. I really appreciate it. Shout out to the people that have supported me and my family when it comes to my little one, my baby that I just had. About a month or so ago. So shout out to y'all. I appreciate all of the gifts and everything that you guys have, given to us for him. We really do appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my oldest son. He's turning 20 this weekend, and I'm just really happy for him. You know what I'm saying? Can't believe it. It was just yesterday, not too long ago when I had him. But anyway, shout out to my kids, my family. Shout out to the subscribers and everybody that supported the channel, supported my family. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to my patrons as well. So yeah, that's all that I got. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie. That is me. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, share the video. Like I said, like up the channel and all of that. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda, we hitting the jeweler, the flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer, we come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden, they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross I'm out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad one.